Been a great day of shooting. Sitting here in the room, got a fire. It's about as a perfect digital darkroom experience as you can get, other than not having a glass of Merlot. So, this is my basic traveling digital darkroom setup. The heart of it is the Mac Retina, which is just this screaming notebook, which allows me to do so much so quickly. And in the evening when you're tired, that's important. It's connected to two of the Buffalo Thunderbolt 1 terabyte drives, which just scream, make life easy. Got my Lexar reader, and of course my best friend, the Wacom Intuos 5, which allows me to just fly through this stuff. And this is basically how I travel all the time doing my finishing. Now, I've got open here, you can see Photoshop, and my favorite tool is Mini Bridge, because I've taken the image that I like, I have selected it, and there it is. All I do is double click on it, and it brings it up into Adobe Camera Raw. This is my favorite way to process it. It's so quick. Now, if you weren't here looking over my shoulder, I'd be done already, seriously, because I've just used it to speed everything up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So the first thing you say is, wow, look at the blue color cast. Yikes. It's okay. What I've got going here is, I don't do a lot of big stopper work, so investing in a really expensive big stopper, I've never done. So the one I've got is optically sharp, it just has a color cast, which is not a big deal. I'll show you how it's not a big deal in a second. But let's get to the beginning of the processing. Now, I'm assuming you're kind of new to my Adobe Camera Raw processing, so let me just go through it once so you understand. I have over here created a number of presets, and these presets, are landscape, standard, and vivid. They're the same presets that I have for the color picture control inside the D4, D800, D600, etc. Now, when I just click on the word landscape, you won't see the big change because of the blue color tint, but it's now applied all of my settings. Now, what are all my settings? Well, I've gone over here to the basic tab. You can see I have vibrance up a tad, I've got clarity up a tad. My favorite unit of measurement is a tad. All right. I've come over here to the camera calibration, and I've selected the color landscape camera profile. And then I've come over here to my detail, and I've added in my amount of sharpening and detail that I want. And then I have a standard set of noise reduction. Now, because I'm going to be taking this to a black and white image, I know that in that process I'll probably bend some pixels. There's a real possibility that I will introduce noise in this photograph. So because of that, I do what I call a preemptive strike. Does it really make a difference? It does a little bit, and that's all that really matters to me. I'm going to bring up the luminance noise, the contrast, and the details a tad. My favorite increment, a tad. And I'm good to go. Now, dealing with that color contrast, or color cast. Come over here to my white balance tool. It's real simple. And I'm just going to click. I'm going to click anywhere in the white. I'm going to come over here right there, and I click on it. Boom. Just like that. It's that simple. Last thing is, I have these, you see like an HTML hot tag down here. I have set the options so when it goes into Photoshop, to set the color space at ProPhoto RGB, and I put the resolution at 300, just because it's going to say 240, 300 is a number that's just familiar. It doesn't make a difference, none at all, it's just up there. Lastly, you can see I have checked Open in Photoshop as Smart Objects, which I think is pretty important. It makes it really cool. Now with that, I just open objects, boink, and it opens. First thing I'm going to do is hit Control or Command 0, have it fill the workspace. Tired eyes, late in the evening, that size makes a difference. Now with that, I need to apply SolarFX Pro. Now this is the way I prefer doing it, Just understand it, this is my preference. It's fast, it's easy, and the digital darkroom, the thing I'm looking for is speed, flexibility, and quality. So I have the express keys on my Intuit program. You can see I'm just running my finger down the tablet. You can see them there. I have one here that says Command or Control J. Command J, and I just created that layer. It's an exact copy of this layer, which includes the smart object. I don't want that smart object, so I'm just going to double click on that and rasterize that layer. That throws away that smart object. Then I'm going to go over here to Filter, Nick, SolarFX Pro. I just love it. It just works and works and works. It works all day long. I love that part. Now, if you don't know black and white, Just the presets over here makes the plugin worth the price of admission, because you can slide up and down and you can get an idea where your black and white image can go. And that's pretty important. It's a visual, just like using an iPhone. It's another visual to help you kind of get an idea where you're going. Now, from there, I come over to the land of structure. Structure, the bottom slider, and I take over to the land of 80s. And I do it quite a bit. I just love it, because watch what happens. Okay? Look what happens to the rocks right here, the water here, when I go back and forth. So I'm back, and I'm not looking at the number, I'm just watching the water. So I go to 0. I mean, when I go over here, it looks like I've gone what? I've gone to that water. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Now, if you want to make it really blurry, you could do that too. You can make it more milky. Or I like to go over to here. Now, here's the thing. I knew it was going to happen when I took the picture. That structure slider is part of the way I compose for black and white. So that means you got to think of which came first, the chicken or the pixel, and you have to sit there go back and forth. Okay? Contrast, I do a little dance. I go back and forth, the contrast and the brightness. And I'm strictly looking at my monitor, which means what? My monitor is calibrated. And that's basically how simple it is. Then I click OK, and it goes into Photoshop. Boom. I love that. So here's the before, here's the after. Now I got to do some little nuance changes. So the first thing that's been driving me nuts since I took the picture is, and you'll probably hard to find and believe, is this rock right here. Can't stand that rock in the corner. It's just like annoying. Hit L for lasso. I'm going to come over here and just draw a lasso around it. Use my favorite filter, which is programmed right into my Intuos. You can see there, content aware fill. Right in that layer. Okie dokie. Boink. Command or Control D. Look at that. Rock's gone. Now there's a couple of repeating patterns. Okay, see that? See that? So I'm going to hit the letter J. And I'm going to sit there and just take care of that little repeating pattern. So it doesn't look like no one can really see that I did that. Hello. And there I got it. All right? Pretty simple. Now, okay, last little touches I'm going to do is come over here to curves. I'm going to pull down my curves. And this is, there's burning and dodging inside of the wet darkroom. This is my idea of burning and dodging the digital darkroom. I have created a curves layer. You can, Command I, Control I, Command Delete, Control Backspace. You're going to fill that layer with black, no matter how you want to do it. Black to hide everything we just did. Hit B for brush. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to hit the number 2 for opacity. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit there and darken. And what you see me, that circle, every time you see it move, I'm adding a little bit more darkness to the photograph. Am I doing it in a big way? No, small subtleties. And I'm doing it this way because I can never really hit the same path twice. So you really can't see it. So what am I doing? I am adding a little darkness or blackness to elements of the frame, to layer on and off, to bring the eye back down into certain parts of the frame. Like this right here, I'm going to make that darker. And again, I'm looking for the clean blacks, which I have blacks, and I have clean whites and shades in between. Now this water over here that's not foamy kind of like stuff, I'm going to actually tap that too. Now just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, you hold down the Alt or Option key and click on your layer mask, you can see the areas I've just painted in. And the cool thing about layers and the flexibility is I can double click on the curve itself there. So I double click on it and I can take this layer, this curve, actually can draw it down a little even more to see the effect. Just like that. Of course, it's telling me to paint on that layer mask. Fine. I can obey some instructions. I'm not real good at instructions. Okay. And there we go. It's that simple. For me then, it's just going to do a simple save as, get rid of all this smart object stuff. It's going to be saved right back into the same folder. Boink. And I'm done. And that's the beauty. Now, that's what you want. That quick, that simple. Which, of course, remember, comes from what? When you shot it in the camera. If you didn't do it correctly in the camera, this part of the process is going to take much longer. And then it's no fun. So we're looking for the same basic elements in the viewfinder as we're looking for in our monitor. Clean whites and clean backs, and then leading the eye through the frame. So that's our first image. Let's go on to the next one.